Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm gonna show you what I've been farming these past few days. I'm no longer farming stack decks and I have moved to farming harvest. This strategy is really consistent, even more than stacked decks, and at this moment is even more profitable while still being really simple and easy to do. The way I'm doing it is using regular harvest. I'm not doing crop rotation since I personally don't like having to think too much when doing maps. I just like going into a map, doing a simple mechanic and then going out. So the way I'm farming it is like this. I'm grabbing all harvest clusters except this one right here since we don't really need it. This is mostly for the chance to contain sacred grove and we already have 100% as you can see here. So just grab everything basically, and this is a very important part. As you can see, we're grabbing these two nodes right here, which make it so purple plants and blue plants spawn less. This is really important since yellow juice is way more expensive than purple juice and blue juice. So with this, we make it so more yellow crops appear. The rest of the atlas is just grabbing every single map node that we can, and since I'm not running any other side mechanic, I'm just grabbing scarabs on the side. Grabbing also these small nodes right here that just give you more scarabs in general. There's gonna be some extra profit that you're gonna get on your maps. So if you wanna mix this with something else, feel free to do this. The most important parts are just grabbing harvests and these clusters right here. So take that as a skeleton. You can add whatever you want to this. Now for the setup of each map, what we're gonna be grabbing is one harvest scarab of doubling. What this is gonna do is gonna double all the juice that we get from monsters in harvest, but also is gonna give them double the life. They're really not tanky by nature, so double the life in that case is not really a lot. Basically any build can clear those. You don't need a hyper damage build to do this. I'd say that if you can clear at T16 with 8 mods, you can easily clear this with no problem. Also, we're gonna be running 4 mortal fragments. These are gonna give 10% quantity to the map that you put them in, and since we're running 4 of them, that's gonna be 40% quantity. And for the map craft, we're just gonna leave the 8% increased quantity since this is the most important part to getting more juice and thus more money. So once you're on the map, the only thing you want to do is just rush all the way to the harvest. Just use any movement skill that you have to get to the harvest as quickly as possible. As you can see, it's here. I'm gonna go in, and once you're here, you want to grab the crop of the highest tier. What I mean by tiers is just the type of enemies that are gonna spawn from the crop. For example, these monsters in gray text are tier 1 monsters. Monsters in white text are tier 2 monsters, and monsters written in blue are tier 3 monsters. So you want to grab the crop with the highest tier. In this case, both of them are tier 3, so we can grab anyone that we like, but take into account that yellow juice is way more expensive than the other two, so the order of importance is going to be yellow, then blue, then purple. So if you have 2 crops like these, where the 2 crops are tier 3, but one of them is yellow, you always want to prioritize that one. In this case, for example, the option is really clear. This one is a purple crop, so goes all the way down in the priority, and also is only tier 2 since there's no tier 3 monsters. So this is really clear. We should grab this one right here. Also, every time you activate one of your crops, you also have a small chance for the other crop not to disappear. So whenever that happens, you're gonna get a bit more juice in that map. And as you can see, even though I'm not running a build with a huge amount of damage, I can still clear these really fast, so you probably won't have any trouble even with doubling scarabs. Now, after you finish all your crops, you want to leave the map. You don't care about anything outside the harvest, so you run, do the harvest, and leave. That will make your map time completion really quick. I usually average anywhere between 1.5 minutes and 2 minutes per map. So the idea is to go and do every map as fast as you can, and that way you'll get more divs per hour. I did this for 100 maps to see how much profit we get per hour, and this is what I got after the 100 maps. The whole 100 maps took me around 3 hours to do, and after selling everything that I got, this is what I was left with. And after taking out the investment, since of course we gotta buy 100 doubling scarabs, which aren't really cheap by themselves, and we gotta buy 100 of each sacrifice fragments, plus an average cost of 3 chaos per map, I was left with this amount of divs. Now, if we divide this by the 3 hours that it took me to complete the 100 maps, we get 13.3 div per hour. So of course, this is not gonna give you as much profit as crop rotation would, but I personally don't like strategies that make me think and I have to do a bunch of different stuff, because usually crop rotation requires you to stack altars, so you boost your quantity and stuff like that. I just like to go into the map, do the harvest, and leave. So with this simple strategy, you'll be averaging out 14 divs per hour, which is a really nice amount for a strategy that doesn't really require you to do a lot, and the entry cost is not really high. You can do 20 maps of these and they're not gonna cost you that much, and then with the profits of that you can do the next 20 maps and so on and so on. I decided to do a sample of 100 maps to get a better average of how much you get, and those were the results. So that's it for the video. Really simple, really straightforward strategy. Doesn't involve thinking, doesn't involve making decisions. Just go, pick the yellow plants, and that's it. And of course, if you like the video, please subscribe, leave a like and all that stuff. And I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.